Hola estudiantes, hoy vamos a empezar capítulo 9, los días festivos, the holidays. En este capítulo aprendimos celebraciones, emociones, verbos irregulares y los objetos directos y indirectos juntos. And we're also, también aprendemos Cuba. Cuba tiene 11,5 millones de habitantes. La isla de Cuba está a solo 150 kilómetros de la costa sur de Florida. Cuba es un destino turístico importante para europeos y sorry y'all, I just totally forgot how to read. My brain went crazy. Para europeos y canadienses, I think that's how you pronounce that. See, even I still struggle with pronouncing Spanish words sometimes. So, always a work in progress. There's always more to learn. There's always improvement. Always room for improvement. Y Cuba es un país con una tradición musical impresionante y que también se destaca en el béisbol y en la danza. So Cuba gained its independence from Spain during the Spanish-American War of 1898. Fidel Castro and Ernesto Che Guevara were the leaders of the socialist revolution that overturned the rule of the Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista in 1959. One result of the revolution was the immigration of many Cubans to the U.S. and other countries. Many of them established themselves in South Florida, and this is also where many second and third generation Cuban Americans live now. The United States has since reopened diplomatic relations with Cuba just in the last few years. I am not up on my politics, so I know it's been in the last few years. Can't tell you exactly how many. I've had a couple kids. Don't really keep up with that kind of stuff as well as I should, which that's also room for improvement for me. So yeah, that's Cuba. A little bit about Cuba. We're going to learn a little more later in this chapter. Ok, vamos al vocabulario para este capítulo en 266. Vocabulario. Tiene vocabulario para las fiestas y las celebraciones. Una fiesta de cumpleaños para Javier tiene muchas palabras importantes y también hay más. There are several different ways to express to have a good time. You can say divertirse, which is a stem changing verb. Or you can say pasarlo bien. You might hear some, they're called heritage speakers technically, but some people that you know that speak Spanish, they might say tener un buen tiempo, but it doesn't clarify that concept to native Spanish speakers. That's something that's kind of been assimilated from the English language. And also I wanted to note that ser en is to take place, while estar en is to be in a place. That goes back to the difference between ser and estar. Estar is a location, and ser is something that is definite, that doesn't change, an inherent characteristic. So that is the vocabulary and a couple of notes. Hay vocabulario útil sobre las celebraciones y los días festivos hispanos. Only the highlighted items in this list are active vocabularies. There are a lot of holidays and you don't have to learn all of them. Hooray! Así se dice, es interesante. There are going to be variations of the names for holidays. La Noche Buena, which is Christmas Eve, it could be spelled a couple of different ways. So that's one thing. Yeah. Also note that the El Cinco de Mayo, which we for some reason celebrate in the U.S., it is not the Mexican Independence Day. It is something entirely different. So you can Google why Cinco de Mayo is a thing if you want to, but just know it is not Mexican Independence Day. Vamos a página 268. La nota cultural. Los días festivos importantes en el mundo hispano es muy importante leer esa nota cultural. Y es importante entenderla. Hay vocabulario sobre las emociones y los estados afectivos, or emotional states, en página 269. These are like things you feel, emotional states, obviously. Sorry. This is the problem with doing this when I do this in the afternoon. I am tired. My kids get up early, and so that's why you see me yawning sometimes. I finally have a chance to sit down, and so that's why I yawn sometimes. Sorry, y'all. Real life for me. Okay. It's really important to understand the estados afectivos y las emociones. So you can read through that and start memorizing those. Hay una nota comunicativa en página 270. Esta nota comunicativa, ¿cómo enfatizar? Enfatizar significa to emphasize. So this is how we emphasize something. And you see ísimo or ísima. So this is to emphasize the quality described by an adjective or an adverb. You can add, I'm so sorry. You can add ísimo, ísima, ísimos, ísimas to an adjective and ísimo to an adverb. This change adds the idea extremely or very, very to the quality expressed. You already have used one emphatic adverb. We learned, oh my gosh, I have the yawn so badly and it's so terrible. Sorry. We learned me gusta muchísimo. I really, really like it. Estas tapas son dificilísimas de preparar. So they're really, really hard to prepare. That's what that emphasizes. If the word ends in a consonant, ísimo is added to the singular form. Difícil, dificilísimo. And any accents on the word stem are also dropped. If the word ends in a vowel, then the final vowel is dropped before adding the ísimo. Rapido, rapidísimo. And any accents on the word stem are dropped as well here. Spelling changes occur when the final consonant is C, G, or Z. Those are very common, as we've noticed through now with command forms and also preterite forms. Rico would be riquísimo, largo, larguísimo, and feliz, felicísimo. And this is to help maintain the pronunciation. Spanish is very phonetic, if you haven't already figured that out by now. So that is how we form the very, very part of it. Y'all, I'm so sorry I have the yawns terribly. Please forgive me for that. I hope that you all are understanding this. Start memorizing the vocabulary for chapter 9, and we will continue next class.